Hello, everyone. This is Inderpreet Shoker with ARC Advisory Group. And today we are in conversation with Patrick Arnold. Patrick is analyst with ARC Advisory Group. Welcome, Patrick.
Thank you.
So, Patrick, to start off our conversation, would you please like to share what is your coverage area at ARC?
Sure. Thanks, Preet. For the last 2 years, I've been on the ARC Industrial Edge team. And so, in addition to covering topics like industrial networking infrastructure, I'm also looking at how, new technologies such as AI or concepts like IT, OT convergence or edge computing are intersecting with, the industrial world.
So, Patrick, for 2025, can you share what are your research priorities?
Great question. Great question. So I would say the first priority is, there is obviously a lot of excitement around AI. And I think there are some really compelling ways that the industrial edge can be a fundamental part of the AI equation when it comes to, finding tangible use cases for industry, for the OT world. I'm also looking at virtualized automation. So the ideas like VMs and software containers, they've been around for a long time or a longer time in the IT world. And it's really about taking these ideas and making them consumable for the OT world, finding out where we can leverage the work that's already been done in a responsible way that's mindful for the sensibilities of an industrial user. I'm also looking at the OPA project. So I've been getting plugged into that. They've actually had a few sessions at the ARC Forum, including a couple this year. That's really a standard of standards organization working to make a more open and interoperable process automation schema. And in addition to that, I'm also looking at how these low-code and no-code tools that are pretty common in the software world now, how we can leverage those in the industrial world as well.
So, Patrick, I know you focus a lot on industrial edge. What sort of role do you think industrial edge will play when it comes to AI?
Right. The emphasis has, been very large on LLMs and, things like projects like what OpenAI are doing. But I think there is a whole spectrum of machine learning technologies that have been in use for, you could say years, a decade. And I think they have really tangible benefits for the industrial world. It's a factor of you have all of this cheaper hardware, you have more pervasive compute infrastructure, and I really think that there are ways to leverage AI using the industrial edge. So that it's sort of two different ideas. The first one is, if you want to meet an AI initiative, if you want to use these technologies, it really comes down to having a solid data foundation for your organization. And I think the industrial edge was going to play a key role in that. The industrial edge and edge computing can help you gather your data, it can help collect the data, it can help contextualize the data, it can make it more cost effective instead of having to, send everything up to higher levels of the architecture like the cloud. But then on the other side, you also have the actual deployment of AI and machine learning models on industrial edge compute devices. And, we're starting to see emerging use cases. Computer vision is a big one for visual inspection, for, safety. Those use cases are cropping up now. And when you have access to these machine learning inferences in an industrial edge environment, you can do it quickly. And when you have those low latency options available to you, you can do more things than just sending it up to the cloud for computation and then coming back down later. You can actually use it on, the operational ground zero.
So, Patrick, what does the virtual automation landscape look like right now, and how do you think it's going to change in the near future?
Yeah, so it's a great question. I think, you had these virtual machines, VMs. If you look a few years back, this was, kind of a new idea, wasn't broadly accepted. And now if you look today, it's pretty pervasive and pretty well understood that, these VMs are a part of the, automation architecture. And when you start looking at things like containerized software and the orchestration tools that help manage and control these applications that you're running, I think there's a lot of interest in how we can take these technologies and make the process run even more efficiently. And when you have access to more deterministic and more real-time capability, you can start to include more of these virtualization technologies in an OT space where you really need that reliability. So you've got things like virtual PLCs, which we've seen in the past, but they're starting to gain more acceptance now. And then you've got virtualized software, higher levels in the architecture. So I think it's interesting to see how people are going to start using these concepts, and what kind of impact that's going to have on the legacy industrial markets like IPCs, PLCs, and DCS, and so on.
And Patrick, I know you have been following OPA. What's happening over there? Anything in particular you are really excited about?
Yep. So I've been following that project now, and the OPA's goal is to create a standard of standards. And without getting too technical, their whole mission is to find a way to create this schema for interoperability, for making sure that everything can talk to each other, modularity, so that you're not stuck in one hardware ecosystem. You can flexibly move your workloads where you need them, and use the devices that you have in a more agnostic way, and create a standardized cybersecurity schema as well. OPA has presented at the ARC forum several times before, and this year they just announced, or they showed the results of their Lighthouse project with ExxonMobil. And I think it's a really exciting time for that organization, because now you have something tangible. It's not just an initiative with some white papers you can download. It's something real. It's in the physical world, and we can see how they're operating, what they're learning, and how we can improve from there.
Great, great. And what are your thoughts on low code, no code use in the industry?
Yeah. So as things are growing more software defined, less dedicated hardware with dedicated software running on it, you start to have more of a need for developer tools and making sure that you have this customized software experience to build the software that you need for your particular organization. I mean, you can utilize commercial off-the-shelf software, but for some cases, you're going to need something more custom. And if you're lacking that expertise, if you're lacking that IT sophistication that would be required for something like this, there are a lot of people working to make tools now where you don't need to be a developer. You don't need extensive coding knowledge to really understand and participate in how software is being created and used in the industrial world.
That's great, Patrick. So thank you so much. I really enjoyed our conversation today.
Thanks, Preet.
So we were in conversation with Patrick Arnold, analyst at ARC Advisory Group. Thank you for watching.